considering the content of the following video, I felt it best to actually announce that there are trigger warnings for this. Just in case. So that if you end up watching the video, any triggering, any consequences, any trauma is your own fault. Now, the trigger warning is Danny's shitty fucking art. If your eyes bleed, that is no longer my fault. Because the art is that bad, but you chose to look at it anyway. Have a nice day. Hello, and welcome to Gamingload Stories with Danny. Now, what could we have today? And the answer is Hellmoo. Now, for those of you who don't know, Hellmoo is a little text-based mud game. I first played this way back in 2010, and also way back in 2010, I met Skinner, aka Das. We worked together at a small web design IT assistant place, and on breaks we just generally played games. Like, I took Toho in Mugen, and this one day I decided, well, why not get the whole group together and let everyone play everything together. And I took in Mush Client so that people could connect to Hellmoo. Here's the fun thing. I ended up convincing just four of us, was it? 4 of us? 5? No? Yeah, it was 4. Yeah, 4 of us. There was me, Skinner, Richard and Scott. Now, for this time, I don't know why, I just decided I'd roll a female character for once. And we all started sitting down and playing, and none of them could figure it out. Well, I'm saying none of them, except Richard. So while all the other while all the other two just decided to herd her around, trying to figure out how the fuck to move and do shit, Richard managed to figure bits out. He figured out how to move, he figured out how to pick up things, and, you know, general how to basic play. So the first thing he decides to do is he grabs Skinner. Now, Skinner's still kind of confused on how things work, so he's like, what? How did you do that? And then Richard, being, you know, well, Richard, decides to start stripping Skinner's pants off. And Skinner's still all, what? What's happening? You know, he can sort of like see exactly what is happening on his screen in the text, and he's reading it, and he's still like, what? And then next thing you know, Richard starts going at Skinner. You know, right? Yeah, you get the idea. Skinner's like, what the fuck, dude? No, please stop raping me. And he's starting to get really, really loud while saying this. Now, the thing is, we were one floor above our boss, so he's saying, stop doing me and shit. And when downstairs got very loud, we could hear them, so all I can assume is the boss heard Skinner and kind of wondered what the fuck was going on up here. But he never came up, and from that day onwards, Skinner did get some very strange looks from our boss. So I have no idea if he did actually hear, but it's there. He might have. So while Richard's actually doing Skinner here, and Skinner's crying out, turns out he's actually doing it in the middle of the street, and one of the Freedom City police cameras actually spot him. And, you know, it's non-consensual, so it's like, okay, you're wanted by the police now, Richard. And it sends out an attack dog, which promptly jumps on him and rips out his throat, essentially. Richard's like, oh god, how? Why? And Skinner's just like laughing his ass off there as Richard's getting mauled. So Skinner's like, okay, I'm going to punch you. Ha! Revenge! So he gets the punch on Richard, and then the camera be all like, oh shit! You committed a crime! Assault! And swivels towards Skinner as well. Skinner gets his own attack dog, which comes flying out. Rips his throat out too. Good job, Skinner. You could have just left it and you'd have been fine. But no, Richard reclones in prison, and then Skinner shortly after reclones in prison as well. Now, here's the funny thing. As soon as they get in prison, an NPC, non-player character, prisoner, grabs Skinner, bends him over a table, drops his pants, and starts going at him. Poor bastard Skinner, like, straight from Richard, straight to an NPC. It's like, how? Why? Things do not want Skinner to have fun here. So Skinner's there whining and shit again about this NPC prisoner doing him this time, and Richard's like, no, this isn't happening, and decides to punch the shit out of the prisoner. Starts beating the prisoner up and eventually kills him. And Skinner's all like, thank you, Richard, thank you, thank you. He's like, you just saved me from this prisoner. How can I ever repay you? And Richard? All Richard does is just drop his pants. And that is the story of Skinner's first time in Hellmoo. He decided he never wanted to play again after that. But he did actually play again years and years later, but that is another story for another time. Hope you enjoyed that. You can have a little laugh at Skinner in the comment section below. Maybe go over to his channel, poke some fun at him. I will see you next time. And ciao.